Welcome to Inside Insight, your quick hit of tips, tools, and trends for manufacturing, distribution, and Dynamics 365 Business Central. Brought to you by Insight Works.
Okay, let's kick things off. If you're involved in warehouse operations and using Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, you've probably bumped into this idea, right?
Oh yeah. The assumption that getting barcode scanning means big costs, complex add-ons, maybe expensive devices.
Exactly. It often feels like this huge hurdle, but the source material we're looking at today, these bits about WMS Express for Business Central, they seem to push back on that.
They really do.
So our mission here, looking just at these sources you've shared, is to unpack that. Does efficient barcode scanning in BC have to be a massive investment? We'll dig into the details and the recent updates mentioned.
All right, so the sources present WMS Express as essentially a fully integrated app, cloud-ready.
Integrated being the key word there.
Seems like it. The idea is bringing that barcode efficiency directly into your existing Business Central setup, not some totally separate thing.
And the accessibility part, the sources mention that quite a bit.
Yeah, they frame it as free to deploy and fast. Like deployed in minutes, staff trained quickly. They even talk about using affordable mobile devices, not just specialized scanners, but tablets too.
Which tackles that cost concern head on.
Right. It seems focused on getting those core warehouse scanning tasks done without needing a huge upfront budget.
So what are those core tasks the sources highlight?
Well, the basics, really. Receiving goods, shipping products, using the scanner to make it faster and, crucially, more accurate.
Okay. And inventory management.
Moving stock around the warehouse, doing inventory counts. The big win they emphasize across the board is cutting down manual data entry.
Which means fewer errors, presumably, less typing, less chance of typos, messing up your data right there on the floor.
Exactly. Improving that data accuracy at the point of action.
Okay, interesting. Now, the sources also spend some time on recent upgrades. How do these apparently enhance things without adding cost? Let's start with automatic package IDs. What's the story there?
So this one sounds pretty practical. Instead of someone manually assigning a number to a package or box being prepped, the system just generates a unique ID automatically when the package is created in the system via a scan.
So no more remembering the next number in sequence or worrying about duplicates?
That seems to be the benefit highlighted, yeah. Save time, reduces potential mix-ups. Scan, assign, label. Simple.
Makes sense. Then there's packages as containers. What's that about?
Think of it like this. You can manage the actual physical box you're packing the package, almost like you'd track a bigger shipping container.
Okay, so for what purpose?
The sources suggest it simplifies things like grouping multiple items for one shipment, makes tracking that specific box through the process easier, and helps handle partial shipments better. They mention it being quite useful for e-commerce type operations.
Right, where orders can be complex.
Got it. What about smarter barcode parsing?
This addresses the barcodes themselves. The sources say the app got better at reading more complex or varied barcode formats.
Like what specifically? They call out GS1 labels, those ones that often bundle item, batch, maybe expiry date all in one code, and also handling mixed lot and serial number data from a single scan.
So the benefit is fewer scan failures or less manual interpretation needed.
Pretty much. Fewer errors, faster processing when dealing with those more information-dense barcodes you see out there.
Okay. And per-device options.
This sounds like a usability tweak. You can apparently set up the app so different devices, or maybe users based on their role, only see the menu options relevant to them.
So a picker might just see pick and move, but not, say, receive or admin functions.
Something like that. The sources pitch it as streamlining the interface, boosting productivity, maybe cutting down training time because users aren't wading through options they never use.
And lastly, they mention general speed and polish.
Yeah, just overall performance improvements. Things like menus loading faster, searches being quicker, sort of general responsiveness.
Small things, but they add up in a busy warehouse, I guess?
That's the point the sources make. Those seconds, saved repeatedly throughout the day, contribute to real efficiency gains.
Okay, so if we pull it all together from these sources, WMS Express is presented as integrated with BC, free to get started with, relatively easy to use.
And these recent updates have added more capability, more power, without changing that fundamental accessibility or adding cost.
So the core message from your sources seems clear. Providing those essential barcode functions for BC warehouses doesn't have to be this huge, expensive project. It can be accessible.
That definitely seems to be the narrative presented in the material.
Which brings us to a final thought, based purely on what these sources suggest. If fundamental tools like this, offering real efficiency gains, can be integrated and deployed quickly and affordably just by better using a platform you might already have, like Business Central, well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other processes do we assume need massive investments when maybe more accessible, integrated solutions are actually viable? It challenges that initial assumption about cost and complexity.